Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, stronger than the Hulk. But is this reissue stronger than the previous one? Let's find out. What's good, my peeps? It's the Ruckus. We're back at you again with another action figure review, another deluxe. This one in the 2026 line, featuring characters from the Hulk roster and Rogues Gallery. This go round, we're taking a look at quite possibly his strongest foe, Emil Blonsky, the Abomination. And this is, I'm sure everybody knows because of the announcement. This Abomination is basically a reissue from the Gamerverse Build-A-Figure, and that Abomination was loosely based off of the 2008 Incredible Hulk film. You know this just because of the head sculpt on that figure. This one, Hasbro has seen fit to give us more comic accurate or comic dedicated head sculpts, and I mean that plural. We get two that are very close to what we know, and we get a third one that's based off of the Abomination's appearance in an issue of the Immortal Hulk, which was a more horror-based series. If you want to read the little mini bio, it's right there for you. So pause and read, then get back here. So now we get a full look at the Abomination, and as I stated, it is the exact same figure that we got before in a Gamerverse wave, and the Abomination, the Gamerverse Abomination, was the Build-A-Figure, and the only thing different are the heads. And the head on that version was loosely based, as I stated previously, off of the 2008 Incredible Hulk film. And if you saw that, you know what I'm talking about. How the head was kind of was remotely humanoid, as opposed to the reptilian visage of the comic-based Abomination and this one. So all Hasbro did was repurpose the body. We got some different paint apps than we got previously. We'll compare those paint apps a little bit later, and of course the head sculpt. In fact, we've got head sculpts as the accessories for this one. This sculpt is based off of the Abomination we all know and love. You know, he's got the big ears, which is a nickname the Hulk himself has given him. And, you know, we got the teeth, the gritting teeth, looking pretty good. Mine's is. You've got the pinkish kind of gum line there. And we've got the gold colored pupilless eyes. We got some nice paintwork going on those ears. Top of the skull, we've got textured in a reptilian sense. And yeah, he's got that furrowed brow going on. Pretty nice head sculpt. We also get this doozy of a head sculpt, like I stated before. This is taken from a storyline from the Immortal Hulk. And you can see what we got going on. He's got two faces in there with a bunch of crab-like appendages, you know, going around the perimeter of the head. Pretty good. Pretty good. Like I said, the Immortal Hulk was more horror-based. They used to have some pretty gruesome scenes in that storyline. The current Hulk's book has gruesome scenes in it as well. So the last few years they've really been focusing on the horror aspect of the Hulk because you know, he is a monster. So they've been leaning into that. But this head sculpt is pretty radical in my estimation. Now, unfortunately, that's all of the accessories we get. Emo has once again been denied fists. And when I mean once again, obviously Gamerverse version didn't come with fists, but neither did the previous two iterations of the Abomination come with fists. The Raft set, no fists, and the Build-A-Figure from a Captain America wave also had no fists, which is just amazing to me. The Abomination is a brick. Anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's any character that's super strong, and that's basically, essentially, all that character is. And that's definitely what the Abomination is, a straight brick. This head sculpt that came attached to the body in packaging, I think, and I could be wrong about this, noticed how the uh, the brows go up and they're almost horn-like. The way how they appear, at least from the front, they're not horns, but they're just more pronounced for his ears, a different kind of ear. I have to look it up, and I could be wrong. Any of you guys know, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. But I think this head sculpt is based off of the Abomination that appeared in the Incredible Hulk's storyline from a good minute ago. And this was when the Abomination was basically had been deleted at some point and was resurrected, and had been had his power increased, and he was actually taking on uh, the Hulk family. You know, Hulk himself, She Hulk, Red Hulk, A Bomb. Um, in fact, he did something crazy, gruesome to A Bomb in that storyline. I invite you to go look it up, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But I think maybe I could be wrong, like I said, but I think this head sculpt is based off of that version of Emo Blonsky. Be that as it may, the head sculpt is pretty nice. He's got open mouth this time as opposed to just gritting slash grinning teeth. He's got the tongue going on in there. He retains the yellowish gold pupilless eyes. The top of the head is more detailed in terms of the ridges. This is almost, I don't even know what to describe this as, but it's definitely more detailed than the one of the head sculpts, the more accurate Abomination head sculpt. At least when I say accurate, I mean of the emo we know and love. So that's how that goes down. As far as the rest of the figure goes, well, obviously the top half is reminiscent of Marvel's Abomination. We've got the the scalation going on there, very very detailed. You gotta love that, and the spikes that he has on his shoulders. Um, they are basically, like I stated, that's the Gamerverse version, and these type of protrusions were also kind of sort of taken from the Abomination from 2008, basically. And then we've got there on the back, you see the spines that we have back there, and look at that pebble, that cobble work, I'll call it. Very, very nice. We've seen that before on the Gamerverse version, but I think the deeper color of green on this guy brings it out more. So we've got that. He's got the protrusions on his elbows, nowhere near as pronounced as 2008 MCU Abomination, but still there. Here's where we start to deviate from the comic because it's based off of the Gamerverse version. He's wearing the ripped pants. The Abomination has never worn ripped pants. He's either worn shorts or straight up bucket naked. You know what I mean? As far as the paint is concerned, this go round, the pants are blue, whereas before they were kind of like a brownish or a dark brown or kind of black. I would say a dark brown if you looked at it closely. And I didn't even notice back then that he had a belt that came apart. This one, you can see. It's painted black. On the previous one, no paint at all. It just melted in with the rest of the pants. It was almost as though it's not even worth having a belt. But I guess that was game accurate, so to speak. You know, the pants are tattered. You go down, and then we've got the claws on the feet, and they're painted black. We didn't get any paint on the claws on the previous one. In an attempt to kind of sort of make the Abomination similar to the comics, you see how the toes look. He is sporting basically the 5 toes plus a dew claw, which is this over here. Um, for any that that word is a new word for you. Dew claws are the uh, the suspended toe of birds and theropod dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah, I'm a dino head too. And but you see what they did here. Even though he's got the 5 toes, they've got 2 of them basically, like they're about to fuse together, and 3 on the other side. So it gives off the image of the 2 toes that the comic-based Abomination has. We've got the claws on the hands. Those 2 have been painted. So we did get paint on this guy. So I'm pretty happy about that. As far as the articulation scheme goes, he can look up this far. His head is on a dumbbell hinge, pretty long one too. He can look down that far. When you look at it from the back, though, you got the gappage, but it kind of sort of hides even on the side, especially if you turn the head a little bit. And he can turn his head left and right, and you can get some attitude looking there. So that's pretty cool. He can really only get his shoulders up that high because the scoots there on his shoulders get in the way. If they weren't there, he'd be able to get a 90-degree pose. He has butterfly joints, so he can rear back, and you can see how far he can rear back. This is how close together his hands can come. Of course, he can't grasp, but it's decent considering how big he is. He's got the bicep swivel. He's got the single jointed elbow that also swivels. He's got a wrist hinge that swivels and they articulate horizontally. And diaphragm. And the difficulty that Hasbro seems to have with their diaphragms in terms of going forward. Well, this guy actually gets you more than the average. It's nothing to write home about, but it's better than most. So you got that. Going back, you got that much. He can lean with it and rock with it. And of course, you're going to get your 360 rotation in that diaphragm. Even though the waist is separate from the torso, there is no articulation there. You can do the splits that much, which is very good for a big guy. He can kick only that far. That's about 75 degrees. Going back decently for going back. When you think about it, the leg, which is a Build-A-Figure leg, you got the swivel right there at that thigh. He's got double jointed knees, and you can see the pins there because this is an older mold. He's got ankle swivel. Notice that, or I should say, excuse me, this would be, yeah, this is basically ankle / calf swivel. He can bend his leg, or rather his foot, point his toe that far forward. He can point it that far up, and he does have ankle pivot in conjunction with that. We'll call it calf ankle swivel. So he does have that. So very, very decent articulation for a big guy. You have got to appreciate that. He doesn't want to stand. So I'll just hold him. You can't see my hand, so it's still all good. Here's him with the more demonic head sculpt. I still think that this head sculpt was taken from the Abomination, from that Incredible Hulk's storyline. I believe it was called Heart of the Monster, but I could be wrong. Somebody check me on that. And here's the head sculpt from the Immortal Hulk storyline. Very, very gruesome going on there. Here he is compared to the Gameverse version of the Abomination, and yeah, straight up night and day in terms of the appearance. Those head sculpts definitely change the character. Back when the Gameverse version of the Abomination came out, we were, meaning the collecting community, Marvel Legends collecting community, were for a long time since the Raft and the Captain America wave, because they both came out in the same year, believe it or not. We got two Abominations in the same year, and neither one came with fists. Just different paint apps, same exact figure. Um, we've been wanting an update to the Abomination forever. We had gotten that Gameverse one, and the body, the size, everything was cool, with the exception of not getting any fists. So I struck out and searched for a customizer to come with, a head sculpt that was reminiscent of the classic comic version of the Abomination. And I can tell you, this head sculpt is spectacular. If you didn't know any better, Hasbro made it, as you can see from this comparison. And of course, we can't get out of here without comparing Emo with Bruce, the Abomination, and the Incredible Hulk. So that's what we got. Marvel Legends Fan Channel exclusive Deluxe. Emo Blonsky, aka the Abomination. It's a reissue. It's a redo of the previous Gamerverse Abomination, different paint apps, and more accurate head sculpts dedicated to the comic version of the figure. It is basically, I mean, it's a nice looking figure, but we have to call a spade a spade. It is inaccurate. Tattered pants as opposed to shorts, and the nature of the toes on the feet. Definitely a nice job with making them, fuse together to give the appearance of just two toes, like the comic version. But it isn't accurate. I won't even front on you. I like the toes this way, and I wouldn't be mad if the comic version somehow ends up with toes like this, and all it would take is just artistic license. They don't have to come up with any reason he's mutating further or anything like that. That's basically how that would go down. The additional head sculpts, like the gruesome one here, definite, definitely come up in terms of accessories. This particular head sculpt, taken from a storyline from the Immortal Hulk, was definitely a great addition to this set. It's unfortunate, once again, that we didn't get any fists, but we did get this beautiful head sculpt, as well as this particular one. You'll see it when he comes back around. The more demonic looking head sculpt that, once again, I believe comes from the Heart of the Monster storyline. And all three, very, very nice as far as head sculpts are concerned, as far as the accessories are concerned. Of course, conspicuous by their absence, a pair of fists. This guy is a brick, one of the strongest bricks in Marvel. He's the Hulk's strongest foe, more or less. And he doesn't come with any fists. Only thing he could do was slash the Hulk. Doesn't really take much strength to do that, now does it? Anyway, that's what we got in terms of accessories. The figure is nice. The articulation scheme is very nice, especially considering it's a large figure. It's an older figure. That's why we've got the pins in the legs, but it's still very nice. The paint apps, I think the paint apps on this guy is better than the Gamerverse version, so I'm happy with that. The painted claws on both the hands and the feet definitely make this stand out, along with the head sculpts. And painting the belt, we got, I didn't mention that we also got some silver for the buckles with the belt, as well as the belt itself being painted black. that also brings out the it just it makes it brings out everything when it comes to the figure itself. It's not it doesn't look like we got cheated on the paint apps. So I'm happy about that. The scale work is still present there. It looks very nice, and it's a nice figure. And I won't lie, I still would like to see a more comic accurate Abomination, but this guy will definitely fill the gap for now. Now all I have to do is see if there are any customizers out there, plenty of customizers that can make very professional looking head sculpts, but we need somebody that can 3D print some fists for sure. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this guy down below in the comments section. While you're there, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload another video. So that's Emo Blonsky, the Abomination, fan channel exclusive deluxe. This year, the focus is on the Incredible Hulk himself. So we will see what we get next. I know we've got Red She-Hulk in the pipeline somewhere, but we're going to get at least one more. What will it be? Anyway, until we find out. Peace.